We started with 9, and now we're down to 2 after one weekend of NCAA Tournament play. I'm here to assess the Big Ten's showing through the first weekend. Before we get into the video, just want to explain my absence a little bit. Things are heating up in the professional life for yours truly. Had the great opportunity to direct a Amsoil Snowcross National event in Elk River, Minnesota. That was kind of during selection Sunday weekend, 2 14-hour days. Got the opportunity to call the shots and direct the show from the TV truck. I believe that show aired on CBS Sports Network this week. So that was kind of selection Sunday, 2 14-hour days, long days. And then kind of this past week leading into the tournament, had the opportunity to get trained up on the old EVS replay machine for the broadcast on Bally Sports North, Timberwolves, Wild, Minnesota United, soccer, Minnesota Twins, that kind of thing. So getting those opportunities, got to take them when you can. So that has kind of explained my absence. But if you out there are interested, I'm always looking to talk shop, talk TV production, live TV sports production with people. If you're interested, drop a line. Hey, if you're interested in getting into the biz, drop a line and I can help you out with that. So let's get into the video. We're down to 2. Purdue and Michigan are the only 2 Big Ten teams left in the NCAA tournament. Before we get to the Boilermakers and the Wolverines, I want to talk about the teams that did not make it this far. When you talk about losing early and losing on that first weekend, a lot of times it's disappointing for teams. I think when I look at disappointments in the Big Ten, I think I look at 2 teams, really. I look at Wisconsin and Iowa. Let's start first with the Hawkeyes. Man, they went on that big-time run in the Big Ten tournament. And boy, were they impressive all the way through the Big Ten tournament. And I really thought, oh, wow. They ran the table, won the whole shebang. I'm like, oh, this is a team that might have a run. And there were experts saying that this team might make the Final Four. And naturally, they lose to the 12 seed Richmond in the first round. I made a video on Iowa a little bit back. And I still thought, even after they had really good showings during the regular season, I still thought, I'm not sure that this is a team that can contend with the top of the Big Ten, is what I said at that time. And I'm not sure, even after they went all the way and won the Big Ten tournament, I'm like, I'm still not certain that this is a team. I really thought people were overreaching by them to be a Final Four team. And they end up losing in the first round of the tournament. I want to talk about Wisconsin, right? Let's talk about the Badgers. Man, did they finish not good, right? Everybody was scrolling through Twitter a little bit ago, and people say, Nebraska broke them, right? Nebraska finally got it together at the end of the regular season. Nebraska, of course, that win at the Kohl Center on Senior Day in Madison. Then they go into the Big Ten tournament, Wisconsin does, and they have a subpar showing, not a great showing in the Big Ten tournament after they were co-regular season champions. And then the first round of the NCAAs, they squeaked by Colgate. And then once again, another Twitter sighting from me. Someone said, this might be the worst shooting performance in the NCAA tournament by a Wisconsin team, ... And that's saying something. It kind of made me chuckle a little bit because Wisconsin is not known for their offensive prowess. You go back to Bo Ryan and the swing offense, a good defensive team, good big guys, balanced team. Heck, you go back to Dick Bennett, and still, this is a defensive, slow, half-court paced team. And when they don't shoot the ball well, it's tough to come back. And losing to Iowa State, it's disappointing. I think there were certain times during the season where people thought Wisconsin could make a run, possibly, to something like the Final Four. But of course, that's not going to happen. And it's just, man, the way they finished this season, it was kind of after the Michigan game, right? The Juwan Howard incident. I'm not sure how to correlate that at all, but I'm just saying, it appeared that was the timing of these specific happenings. So Wisconsin, disappointing. They didn't get great performances out of their good players, and they fall to Iowa State. Didn't expect much out of Ohio State. I never really bought in much to the Buckeyes this season, even earlier in the season when they were ranked, I think, towards the top 15 in the country. They kind of slid down the stretch. They were never overly impressive as a basketball team for me, so it doesn't surprise me that they lost in the second round to a 2 seed. Michigan State on the other side, they gave Duke everything they could handle and more. And boy, when it's March, Tom Izzo is just a different coach. Michigan State is just a different team. It don't matter what happened in January, February, December. It doesn't matter what happened in those months for Michigan State. What happens in the month of March has defined what the Michigan State and Tom Izzo legacy and partnership. So, man, they had it in the palm of their hand, up 5 late in the game, and then Duke went on a crazy run. But not a disappointment at all. I mean, you would have loved to see Michigan State get into the Sweet 16, but definitely not disappointing. This was a team that they turned it on late. They turned it on late in the season, and they looked good, and they had every shot to win against the Duke Blue Devils, but I think the better team ended up winning out in that basketball game. So what does this all mean for the Big Ten? We got Purdue, we got Michigan here coming up. What does it all mean? You know, it's been this way for a few years now. The Big Ten is probably the deepest conference in the country, and you can say maybe they're the best conference in the country. However, you determine best conferences. Okay? They're the deepest conference in the country. 1 to 14, no doubt about it. Best strengths of schedule when you go through a conference slate in the Big Ten Conference. But when I look at the top, when I look at teams that contend for Final Fours, that contend for national titles, Arizona, Gonzaga, Duke, those kinds of teams, I just don't think the Big Ten has it. I don't think the Big Ten is necessarily attracting that top talent. They might develop the talent, like Jaden Ivey could be a top 10, top 5 pick in the NBA draft. But when I look at the top recruits coming in, top high school guys coming out, you know, they're going to Duke. They're going to Gonzaga, right? The last 2 years, Gonzaga has plucked Big Ten country right here in the Twin Cities. Right? They've taken the top 2 players out of Minnehaha Academy in the Minneapolis area, Jalen Suggs and Chet Holmgren, and he took them all the way out west to Spokane, Washington. And look what's happened with Gonzaga these last couple of years. So I think that's the big issue right now with the Big Ten. You've got Minneapolis is developing really good players. Chicago, of course, is a basketball hotbed. Indiana, of course, is great. There's places to recruit within the footprint of the Big Ten. It's just those big-time players, Big Ten schools, aren't getting them, and they're not playing at that elite level. Maybe Purdue can do something. Maybe Michigan can Cinderella all of this, but I think that's the big problem for the Big Ten and why you don't get the Big Ten on that elite type of Final Four, national championship caliber level every single season. Deep league, good league, not a great league is how I would assess the Big Ten Conference. As of right now, looking forward to Sweet 16 and Elite 8 time, man. Of course, I'm a Big Ten guy. Of course, I want Purdue to do good, but man, are we not all cheering for the Peacocks right now? Are we all not all about Jersey City and St. Peter's? Oh, that's going to be a tough one. I say no matter what, who wins that one, I'll be happy. I want to hear your thoughts on the Big Ten's performance through weekend number 1 of the NCAA Tournament. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe to Big Ten Ted, and I'll see you in the next one.